Good morning and welcome to Write With Me. I'm Danita Jones, and today we are doing, or every day that we do this, so far we're doing two 25-minute sprints with a 5 to 10 minute break in between. This is a good productivity hour. I'm doing my research, continuing my research for Peter Crosby and the Vicksburg Massacre historical novel series. And while other people have been joining me, getting their word count in, getting their numbers up, and hey, just getting it done. Again, it's all about getting your butt in the chair and getting focused, taking time for yourself to get things done that you really want to get done. All right, so let's just jump on in. Let's see, where did I leave off yesterday? That's weird. Found that. Right with the church. All right. Welcome, middle child. Good morning. Thanks again for hosting the writing session. Of course, and thank you for being here. How's it going so far for you? Are you aiming for a certain word count today? And me, I am still continuing with organizing my notes for Peter Crosby. I'm in Andrew Owen's testimony. I looked at my notes and there's still, I didn't include some details. And so I'm typing up some of the things that I missed in my notes or that I overlooked, but now I going back over it again. I feel it's important to include, especially when I start getting into the scene work because it's a lot of the events that happened that built up to the day of the massacre. And so, and locations and places and times and who were there, what people were there and so forth. So, yeah, so just going over that stuff. And then also today makes 30 years since I've moved to Los Angeles. So even before I started the session today, I was reflecting on that. 30 years ago, today on November 13th, I moved to Los Angeles. And boy, it has been quite a journey. Yeah, wow, 30 years. We're from Chicago. I'm originally from Chicago. Yeah, and it wasn't really an intentional thing. I happened to had an interview at Carsey Warner. Um, they were the company that produced the hit shows Roseanne, Cosby Show, Grace Under Fire, Third Rock from the Sun, Sybil, just to name a few. I had an interview 3 weeks prior, and they gave me 3 weeks to move out here, and so I had to drop everything, and because I mean it was an incredible opportunity to work for a production company with that. Um, they've done so many incredible shows. I could not say no, and so yeah, and that started the whole thing. And my dear friend, John Zappi, even before that happened, he had told me because I had, graduated from Columbia College, and then I started working at WGN TV immediately after graduating, and I was producing public service announcements, and I working for Mary D, who was my incredible mentor, and but I knew I wanted to write. Um, and so my friend John was like, well, if you want to write, you need to be either in Los Angeles or New York. And he knew someone. He had a friend that lived in LA who worked at Carsey Warner. And he said, you should meet with her. And so before I set up a whole bunch of informational interviews, knowing that I also was going to meet with Carolyn at Carsey Warner. And so I met with her, and I met with her boss, and they pretty much hired me on the spot. And they said, "If but you need to be out here in 3 weeks." So that's what I did, and I'm so grateful that Mary D, who was my boss slash mentor, dear friend, she's no longer with us. Incredible lady. You should actually look her up. Her name is spelled Merridee. She's one of the pioneering broadcast women, people of color. Um, uh, that she started out in radio, but she was such an incredible influence in my life. But anyway, her brother lived out here, and he offered a place for me to stay with him, and so I could get on my feet, and that's what I did. And so the rest is history. Like 2 years after working at Carson Warner, I got my first writing assignment on Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I was so determined to write. I'm like, I didn't like Los Angeles at all. And so, and I was like, if I'm gonna be here, I need to be writing. And that's where actually I started the whole writing at 5 a.m. because I would write, get up and write. Then I would have to be at Carsey Warner by 7:30, and then I would work my full day, and then start shadowing writers assistants on the second Cosby Show before they moved to New York. And I would um, still get up at 5 a.m. to write and get to my job at 7. And then when my corporate PA job ended, I would still stay with the show to shadow the writers assistants for that show. And I would be there till around midnight sometimes. um, and then the writers got to know me, and so forth, and really encouraged me. And they originally wanted me to go to New York with them to be on the Cosby Show, but I'm like, I just moved to Los Angeles. I can't move to New York. I mean, I just got here. And so then I ended up getting a writer assistant job on Men Behaving Badly, and then moved on to Sabrina. And that's where I got my first writing. I did 3 scripts with Sabrina the Teenage Witch. So incredible. Nice to hear your trajectory and story. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So, and then some years later from Sabrina, because I was on Sabrina for 3 years, um, then went to Becker, and then I took a short stint at working at Warner Brothers in consumer products publicity, but I took that time to just hone my writing even more, and then I left that job, and then because I was like, I need to just focus on writing. And that same year, 2002, got hired as a staff writer on Frasier. So, yeah, so then moved into feature films and developed and wrote and got hired to write feature films. None got produced, unfortunately, but at least I got hired to do them. And then yeah, moved into reality TV, which has been my pretty much my bread and butter since then. And yeah, so that's been my journey. And luckily, I've been able to keep my foot in both doors, even though it's really challenging doing that, working in reality TV because it's such a demanding, stressful job. Um, but my last scripted actually was for Suzanne DePass, who's a legend in music. You know, she got the started the Jacksons, and I developed a musical, a high school hip hop musical with her and Buena Murray, and that was 2019, 2020. So yeah, before everything shut down. So but I'm doing this journey of historical fiction novel. And I wrote my first novel, gosh, maybe 10 years ago. And now time just flies by. But enough about me. Let's get back into our next sprint. Hmm. right. That is it for today. Middle kid, how did you do today? And I see there's one more person here too. How did you get your word count in? Or did you get done what you wanted to get done today? Let me know in the chat. For me, I'm just still in Andrew Owens organizing his testimony, putting more details into my Scrivener document about his testimony, but feeling pretty good about it. So maybe next week I'll be moved on to another person. I'll still be back here tomorrow, but I'll see how much longer I have to go through um, Andrews. And actually, I might bounce over to Dr. Hunt's because Dr. Hunt and Andrew had a lot of interaction. So I think probably my natural next step would be to review, go over the notes I did for Dr. Hunt and compare what they said about the situation. Let's see, middle kids say, hi, Danita. It was a good session. This is like day 2 of me doing something like this. So I really appreciate the space because it pushes me to write rather than thinking about writing. Yes, that's great. It is so, it's really, getting your butt in the chair and get into the computer or to your notepad or wherever you're using to write. That is the first big step, getting there and just doing it, writing, typing up something, instead of, staring at the blank page. For most of us writers, that's the biggest fear when we come up to the blank page and it's like, but we just got to get it out of our head and get it on the page, So I'm so happy that you are in this here with me and you're doing it and you are going for it, So I applaud you for that. So, well, have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I will hopefully see you tomorrow. I will be here at 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And have a wonderful day.